First of all, like Captain before me, I want to thank all of you who are here in the post-lunch, the graveyard session. I'm glad that you're here because it means you're really interested. So my presentation is going to be a little different. I don't even know whether it can qualify as a Telecentre because some of the experience doesn't even have the tele in it. I come from a background of working with the bottom of the pyramid, the bottomest of the bottom, the rural poor in the Sundarbans. So what we are looking at is technology cannot work without capacity building. That's why if the capacity building is not there, technology infrastructure in 5 years of time is reduced to rotting boxes of tin cans all over the place. And I have personally done a study which is not here, but we've looked at things which have been invested, lots of government money, public money being spent, and utilization zilch. So we are going to talk about our model which looks at capacity building so that we can actually utilize the investments that have been made in the infrastructure. A quick background, I think all of you do know this, but for those of us who are maybe not from India, I'll quickly read it through. India is very proud economic superpower. GDP growth is at 7 to 9%. Capital markets have tripled. Back office to the world. We are proud to say we are also, China is not able to catch up with us in the service sector. And very often we see people from Mumbai and Bangalore and people who have gone to the US say, oh, wow, your lifestyle is better than ours today. But look at the next block. Our HDI has gone down. It's 134. I think it's even lower today. In a list of 182 countries, we are well below the bottom 100. And I don't know how many of you have read this index which came out in the papers about less than a month ago. Bihar, Orissa, and Bengal, if the HDI is taken separately, many of those countries have been ranked below sub-Saharan Africa. Now, that is something we should be ashamed of. We can't afford to hide that under the carpet anymore. We have 260 million who live on less than rupees 40, and the number may be out of date. The 2001 census shows that 13% live in the cities, and the rest in the 600,000 villages, and this is on the internet. I just did the math, that's all. Otherwise, cities of population 5 lakh and above have 13% of our population. Isn't that amazing how much of the population really live in the rural areas, invisible to people like us sitting in these hotel rooms? So here is a picture of where we are. How can we use technology to make a difference to this set of population? These are pictures I have personally taken while I was visiting the Sundarbans in the early areas, and I'm sure you will share that the other side of Sundarbans looks much the same. When I got the email on this confirmation, I looked at the 3 tripods which were given: technology, connectivity, content. Great. What about capacity? I think we need to put that as the stick on which the tripod stands. That would be my suggestion. And so let me come back to a little bit of technology and how it has been used. I'm sorry to take you a little bit on the background before coming to my actual experience. We have a lot of projects where Mission 2007, which has we had a lot of talk about it this morning, out of 100,000 centers. I don't think today, what was the figure that they quoted? About 60 to 70,000. And Mission 2007, mind you, was supposed to end in September 2007. This, we are close to September 2010. There's been a lot of talk on UID. Recently, the grant was supposed to be rupees 3,000 crore. With that kind of money being spent, where is our utilization? Where is the difference really coming to the rural poor? And why is it that these projects are not working? Where are the issues in deployment of technology? We've talked about maintenance of equipment. Most of the time in the rural areas, maintenance of equipment is a very big issue. I don't know, those of you who are operating the Telecentre, one of you touched upon that. And personnel not available in rural areas. How do we monitor the usage and the utilization? Somebody in one of the earlier sessions mentioned that internet penetration in terms of telecentres is being counted as a statistic. But actually one telecentre is not like a home computer in the US or in the European countries. One telecentre services more than 100 people, maybe 200 people in a village. So where is where is the crux? The most important point which the rural poor need is income enhancement. So as long as these telecenters do not address the income enhancement, they will remain as a dubious tool for development. That is our take. So with that, we went in our arsenal and we said, how do we make telecenters, computer technology useful to people in the rural areas to give them a sustainable income? The thing is, ICTs, we look at ICTs from a very high-end perspective, but they can be also, today people in schools learn ICTs, information communication technologies. All of it is not very complicated. Some of it is very simple. It's not everybody who needs to write a software for a computer compiler, but everybody can use the computer for some amount of tools. So we decided that it would be the best option would be to give people the capacity building, the basic skill levels among the rural poor, and see what they would see, what they could utilize it, and how they could utilize it to earn further living. And we started this project about 2006 when Mission 2007 communication connectivity was just about coming in. So we didn't focus on infrastructure access because we knew that would come anyway. We completely focused on the capacity building so that people could utilize what was being given to them. And we thought that technology deployment would be more effective when local skills is available. And I'll give you examples on how that really happened. And just to take a minute for those of you who are not aware, where do we work this project? This project, as I said, I am heading my organization, Alvari. We implemented it for a foundation called Anudeep. And we've just completed it and it's gone operational, completely operational. This is in West Bengal, very close to the Bangladesh border. Sundarbans is 50%, I think 40% in India and 60% in the Bangladesh. So we are working very close. One of our centers is across the border. We can see Bangladesh across the river near Taki. So this is the Gangetic Delta. Infrastructure, as you said, no roads. The communication is by boat. People tell you, oh, I commute by 2 hours by boat to come to where I do. So what did we do? This is a very quick summary because of the time constraints that I was given, about 6 to 8 slides or 10 slides. We prepared extensive course material of basic computer teaching and we developed it completely in the local language, Bengali. We actually did the whole thing in English so that we have a master copy and then got a translator to translate everything into Bengali. We established a network. I saw another program mention a network of partner NGOs. That cut down our local resource investments and infrastructure costs because we use rooms, electricity, all of that of our partners. We also wanted to make it sustainable. Why would an NGO want to run our program? First thing they came and told us, okay, we will run it, we'll give you grants. But anything based on a grant is not sustainable. This was our contention. We must make them earn what they do. Grants make people in the NGO sector, in the philanthropy sector, it has happened that people give you grants and you kind of get used to getting grants. You don't want to do anything to get why should the grant stop after 5 years? You just want to keep getting the money. I don't know how many of you have encountered this. But we did. So we said, no, we'll keep the program running, but you can enroll the students, you charge them a nominal fee. And the nominal fee is something like 200 to 300 rupees. And you will be surprised that these areas do have college dropouts and college graduates also, not even dropouts. The fact that they are educated makes it difficult for them to earn a livelihood because now that they are educated, they can't go back and farm the fields. They can't go back on the boat. They have been educated, but they are not skilled for the workplace. They try to come to the urban areas, increase migration. They cannot get jobs there, so they get into crime. So this is a social problem which has an all-round axis. Whereas if they do the same thing in their own locality, they learn the computer because they're educated. They get the social acceptance, the social thing which my friend Niranjan mentioned. They get the social acceptance, and women, of course, are not allowed to go out. So this, first of all, the NGOs told us that there is this sector of people available, and they would be willing to pay. And this gave the NGOs a sustainable model to utilize their premises or their investments, which they may have got at an earlier time. So in this way, we created a 3-step process for livelihood development. And this is a quick picture to show how far we are working, taking the computers right in through the remote areas over bridges and cycle rickshaws and van rickshaws because cars don't go. In this particular project, we were very lucky that we got a lot of computers, which actually, this is an aside, not part of the Telecentre, but we can tap on it. A lot of computer companies were willing to donate used computers because that made that computer company go green. Because otherwise they would have to show that as computer waste. So we got a lot of donations of computers, which helped us scale up the program at one time. But coming back to how we did what we did a basic course. We have a very simplistic approach. We did a basic course. Then we went in to do an advanced course. But when we did the advanced course, we did a consultation, not exactly a PRA, but a kind of a consultation with the youth to see what are the skills that would help them to earn a livelihood. We didn't do C, Java, Unix. We could have done a whole lot of things. They said, no, teach us DTP. There's a lot of opportunity for photography. There's a lot of opportunity for printing cards and pamphlets. They said, teach us English communication. We will teach that to some others and earn a money. Teach us computer hardware maintenance. Somebody said earlier in the morning that women are feeling empowered if they can maintain the computers. Many of the women said, if you can teach us how to repair the computers, there are some people around us, some shops who have their computers. And if people do invest in computers, even government offices invest in computers, we can do it. And then the NREGS data entry scheme came in, and people were looking for local youth who could do the data entry. And many of our students were approached that since you know the computer anyway, why don't you come and do it? So it gave them an opportunity and a livelihood and an income. Without the skills, they would have never had that. So that's why the capacity building is so important. And then we went into the third phase of our project. We said, now I just have examples. We have an enterprise incubation, which I was talking about in the morning. We train them into entrepreneurship. So these are the three streams they go to. Some do go to mainstream jobs if they have access. Some go as entrepreneurs, and we are in the process of setting up a rural BPO, the foundation. And we would invite others also to set up rural BPO because we now have the trained base of people who can provide those services. And this is the entrepreneurship package. We have provide training. We force people to form groups, and then they set up the little units. And we also give them a kind of, from Anudeep, we've been given microfinance as well as incubation model of a loan. These are the entrepreneurship units which have been set up over the last year. And there are many more. The scaling up has happened. The first 3 years was more on the content and training and the capacity building. The last year was more on the entrepreneurship development. A quick view of one entrepreneurship unit which was set up by a woman-only group, and they stay in the market till about 10 o'clock in the night and talk about social acceptability, which woman is allowed to stay out till 10 o'clock. But they are respected, they are protected, and they are doing very good work. And just to give you an idea of what they do, here is a group of girls taking a photograph. We were on a visit. They said, please wait, we want to take the picture of the customer. Customer satisfaction comes first. So these are all feeling that they have to be built in attitude and the things. And this gives a lot of self-confidence and empowerment, especially to the woman. This is also how some of the other kind of work that they are doing. They take old photographs, black and white, digitize them into nice-looking pictures, and print it for the family. Maybe the father or the mother have been deceased. We've done cases where father or mother is deceased. There's only an old black and white photo, and these girls have converted it. And to take on from the CSC Center presentation, one of our students was actually approached. She was called from home. She said, you know computers, why don't you apply for the scheme? You will be able to run it. And she is running the scheme pretty successfully, even till today. So our unique features, extremely low cost. Our investment in this project has been less than rupees about 50 lakhs in the last 4 years. Compare it with the crores and crores which are being spent on other projects. We've pushed training completely to the grass plates, and once we've trained a group of people, we've trained them back into work as trainers so that they can cascade it and give it to the others, marginal computer facilities. So I think I've already covered these points, and since we are in a rush, you're welcome to talk to me anytime. Thank you. Comments and questions later.
Thank you, Alakhanda.
Is that okay?